Welcome back. The clock is ticking for Iran after President Trump gave the Islamic Republic a deadline to make a nuclear deal to avoid U.S. military intervention.
Are you giving Iran any kind of deadline to make a deal before potentially taking
Only
military
they know
action?
for sure.
Have you communicated that to them
Yeah,
directly?
I have. We'll see how it all works out. You know, they have to float someplace. They might as well float near Iran.
Yeah, the U.S. has already deployed a massive armada, as the president called it, to the region. As the New York Times reports that the president is weighing military options against Iran. And others are reporting that Iran could strike our NATO allies if the U.S. were to attack. Now joining us for tonight's big close-up is Matt Whitaker, U.S. ambassador to NATO. Ambassador, thank you for joining us. On this topic of Iran, I think a lot of Americans want to know what's the means to the end here. What's the point in striking Iran if it's not regime change? And if it is regime change, doesn't that go against the president's stated policies? As the ambassador to NATO, do you feel like other NATO countries, essentially countries other than Israel, are on board with anything the president may do?
Yeah, well, it's good to be with you all tonight. First of all, the president's been very clear on Iran, and that is that you can't have a nuclear weapon and you need to stop killing protesters in your streets. And that's pretty clear red line. President Trump is backing that up with this armada that is sitting off the coast of Iran and in the region. And so certainly that is a show of strength, but it also is an off-ramp for Iran. We're not asking for much. Just stop killing your people and eliminate your nuclear ambition. So, how our allies feel about it, they know that only the United States can do certain things. We've demonstrated that both in Venezuela and in our previous attack on Iran together with Israel. So, they understand the United States is uniquely positioned to do these types of engagements. But at the same time, the Iranians could de-escalate very easily and simply, and we'll see the ball's in their court. But, President Trump is not going to be forever patient on this.
Ambassadors, you pointed out, Lisa here, you pointed out that one of the red lines was the killing of protesters, but that's precisely what the Iranian government has done. So hasn't the Iranian government already crossed that red line? And if so, what's going to be done about it?
Yeah, Lisa, first of all, they have crossed that red line, but, President Trump has given them an ultimatum. Obviously, he does not want to see this spin out of control. We don't want to destabilize a country like Iran, the way Libya was by the Obama administration when Gaddafi was taken out and there was no plan for the day after that. And so we're going to have to obviously be judicious in how we use our power. But, this is the moment for the Iranian regime to finally abandon its nuclear ambitions, to stop suppressing protests in their streets. But, again, the ball's in their court, and President Trump is not going to be patient with them.
All right. Ambassador Whitaker, thank you for joining us, my friend. A U.S. delegation, thank you. A U.S. delegation including Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, and Secretary Scott Bessent met with Russian Special Envoy today in Florida as they push for peace in Ukraine. This comes as President Trump thinks a deal is close. Watch.
I've ended 8 wars. All of them I thought were going to be maybe tougher than this one. But Zelensky and Putin hate each other, and it makes it very difficult. But I think we're getting very close to getting a settlement. Hundreds of thousands of people, mostly soldiers, have been killed.
Ambassador, are you confident a deal is close?
I think we're closer than we've ever been, but I've said that for the last several months, and it's quite simply that we have eliminated issues. We've come to agreements, whether that's on the security guarantees or whether that's the prosperity future for independent and non-warring Ukraine. But, this last agreement, the peace deal that ultimately is the first step, is complicated, and it deals with territories and those by their nature and where you draw those lines and how it's administered and how the ceasefire is administered. These are complicated matters, but we are continuing to make good progress. We need this war to end. President Trump is absolutely right when he says the killing needs to stop. So, I continue to be optimistic that there will be a peace deal in place, but it's going to take both sides to agree to it, and we have to see whether both sides want to end this war.
Thanks for that update, Ambassador. It's Anita Vogel here. You know, Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke at the Senate Foreign Relations Committee this week. He discussed changes to NATO. Take a listen.
NATO needs to be reimagined as well in terms of the obligations. And this is not new to this president. Multiple presidents have complained about it. Without the U.S., there is no NATO. And we understand that in order for NATO to be stronger, our partners need to be stronger. And one of the things we've explained to our allies in NATO is the United States is not simply focused on Europe. We also have defense needs in the Western Hemisphere. We have defense needs in the Indo-Pacific. And it will require us. We may be the richest country in the world, but we don't have unlimited resources.
So, Ambassador, what does he mean when he says NATO needs to be reimagined? What does the future of the alliance look like?
Well, we're in the middle of a factory reset. And what that means is Dwight Eisenhower, when he was president, said if we're in Europe for 10 years, so in the 50s, if we're in Europe for 10 years, that we have failed. And, you know, we've been there now 76 years. We need, once and for all, our European allies to take over the conventional defense of the European continent. And, you know, we got the Hague Defense Commitment, 5%. President Trump gets all the credit for doing something that nobody thought could be done. But now we have to operationalize that 5% and make it so that our allies are as equally capable as the United States. And so far, we've had good progress over this first year. But, you know, I spend most of my day and most of my time focusing our allies on getting stronger, not only militarily, but also economically, because that's how we're going to make sure that that strength guarantees the peace.
Ambassador Whitaker, thank you for joining us tonight. I know we threw a lot of hard questions at you, but you had answers for all of them. We appreciate it.
All right.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.